Hello, this is Suzanne and welcome to part 5 of my 8-part mini-series on mastering your metabolism. And today I want to talk to you about the power of pleasure and how that affects our metabolism along with our emotions and finding some balance. So it's interesting to know that there is a profound biochemical reaction within the body when we are turned on by food, because in actual fact, it turns on our metabolism. As humans, we are wired to seek pleasure, to avoid pain, and that could be to avoid the pain of hunger, or it could be to avoid the pain of emotion. And food is naturally pleasurable to humans, and so it should be, because it totally ensures the survival of our species. And there are numerous scientific studies that show if a person is eating a very nutritious meal, but they're eating it from a place of unhappiness, they're sad, they're angry, they're just not feeling good, they're chronically stressed, then your body will, or their body will not uptake all of the nutrients that that food has to offer. And similarly, if there is someone eating food that is not so helpful for them, but they're really loving it, so it's really, really enjoyable to them, there's no guilt, remorse, or anything after eating that food, the body won't take up as much fats and toxins and, all the nasties that it would if that person was eating out of a place of unhappiness. So what that's saying is our emotions totally affect how our body metabolizes food. In fact, stress is the biggest blocker to weight loss. So it's really important to work on being conscious and aware of what your emotional state is when you're eating. Because typically when we're in a mindless state, and that can come about from boredom, from stress, from anxiety, we create these habits in our life and we automatically have a go-to, whether that be, a biscuit or a donut or a packet of chips or whatever it is. We seek food to self-soothe. But if we've been doing that for a long time and that we've used that as our chosen mechanism of coping with an unhelpful emotion, of course, that's going to lead to a problem over time. So it's really important to bring some mindfulness into the behavior. And this takes time and it's a practice. But when you become mindful instead of mindless, you can start to look and work out, well, what are the triggers? And then go back to the root cause of that. You could even have what I work with my clients is a what else list. What else could I do if I'm feeling tired, upset, bored, anxious, stressed? Is there something else? What am I really hungry for? Because it's not the food that's going to soothe that emotion. It might for a moment, but then of course the negative emotions come in afterwards, which aren't helpful. And the last thing I want to talk to you about is how important it is to have some kind of balance in your life when it comes to food. Now, typically, if you've been on a diet, then diets are generally restrictive. People feel deprived, they can't have what they want, there's no fun. It's hard work, it's not sustainable, and that is not bringing pleasurable feelings on a continual basis. So what I suggest to my clients, particularly for instance around chocolate. Now, chocolate is a very pleasurable food. It's been pleasurable over eons, in our lives, in our ancestors' lives. So if that is something that has given you some kind of pleasure and enjoyment, and if I said to you, you cannot have any chocolate forever, then how would that make you feel? You wouldn't feel so good about that. You'd be wondering, well, what can I enjoy? Where is the pleasure in my food? So instead of denying yourself completely of something that is pleasurable, find some balance. So find balance between pleasurable food and nutritious food. So for instance, you might want to have chocolate on the weekends instead of, every night. You might want to have just a small piece once, of an evening with your cup of tea after dinner. But the chocolate that you have is the best quality chocolate, organic cacao, high cacao, organic. It's not the, the cheapy dairy milk chocolate, which is very high in sugar. There's no nutritional value in that. So find the balance between what excites you around food. Don't deprive yourself of everything that you really enjoy, but just have it occasionally. That's the balance. So this is where, whole food eating and finding balance and pleasure in your life can totally improve the metabolic force of your body, because you're not putting yourself in a consistent state of stress of I can't have this, or I want this, and then go and have it and then go, oh no, now I've busted, I've blown my diet, and feel bad and guilty about that, because that stress response is really telling your body to store weight, hold on to fat, and not build muscle. So find the balance, enjoy food, and your metabolism will thank you for it. Now, if you've been enjoying this series of videos and you want more information, then this is from a book called The Slow Down Diet by Mark David. Now, I'm a trained eating psychology coach through his Institute for the Psychology of Eating, and he's put out this fantastic book, which is in fact the basis of a workshop that I'm also running. And so after each chapter on the 8 universal metabolizers, there's a workbook for, there's questions and answers for you to take that deep dive. And if you wanted to do this with a group, then I'm actually running a slow down diet workshop. It's called Weight Loss Goals Club. We run it over 4 months. And in fact, I've been running similar weight loss goals clubs for the last 4 or 5 years now, and everyone has been sold out. I only work with a small group of people so that everyone can get my individual attention, and the power of working in a group is just so amazing. There's so much knowledge and wisdom and support and guidance, and when we're going it alone, when it comes to weight loss and dieting, it's really hard. But it makes it so much easier, and to be able to understand why things aren't working for you and they haven't worked for others, and it's not just you, that it really opens up a whole different perspective. But the idea is to really take you through these 8 universal metabolizers and really guide you to show you what does work when it comes to the body and weight. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Enjoyed that. Join me next week for my next part 6, which is all about the power of thought. Bye-bye.